game, getting elimination. Nate going down. Lucia's going to find a player on the backside. Shot's going to come through. Flygon going to go down. AR Buffo is going to be on the other side, going down to Hin, who's having a great game. Launchpad will come through and hopefully get that player where they need to go. As crash pads are now going to be used. We do see Benji flying through. Mid-ground is where he operates perfectly and where he is at his best. 73, he's actually got the shockwave launcher. He's got the charge shotgun as well. So picking up a huge elimination. Benji now could run away. We said it. The story is Benji. The story is him. And this is exactly what he needs to do. Find these impact eliminations and find this impact loot. And he's done it. He's gotten the caddy launcher. He's gotten the caddy shotgun there. He's got everything in his inventory. The arsenal is there. The tools, the shockwave, the crash pads that are going out. He's not playing for height just yet. He is looking in that mid-ground now, looking towards height, could go for it again. As Benji looking around, continuously just being aware of his entire surrounding. Shots coming through, easy to get takedown. Tason, as he gets another elimination, dropped in a box he doesn't want to be in. Shockwave's going to throw a player off. He's still in that box. He's shockwaving in his own. He'll have it for now. We'll be able to just get out of this engagement, and this is beautiful. We haven't seen Mongrel go down, though, so he's still in this game as well. The old duo partners back facing each other here in this solo competition. Benji, not a lot of builds remaining. He's going to need an impact frag. Marine is going to fall there as well. Again, haven't seen Hin, haven't seen them fall. Shockwave's going to go through. They are going to throw him up into the air. We'll see if he's going to be able to use those and impact them. Not sure exactly if he's going to be able to. We'll see exactly what happens there. As Benji now...
All right, we'll see exactly what happens. We have Mongrel, Benji both fighting for the top spot. The zone's going all the way up towards the top side of the map. Benji has used so many shockwave launchers up to this point. The weather, the winds are picking up for him. It's him against Slowbay all the way up top, but Andy's the one landing all the way down below too. He skips the engagement. He gets up top again. His builds are completely out though. Lusha all the way in front. He's just trying to hippity hop and stay up top. He blocks one person down. The beam next to the charge is not possible for it to connect. It's a top 7 scenario now for everyone. Mongrel down below has no HP. Benji just trying to bide his time. Did get a...
What's going on, guys? Sorry about that. We had Shy and Clay drop. We're going to cast the end of this game. We got Benji Bishi up on the top, Mongrel down below. The old trio partners going head-to-head. Sundown, are you here with me, brother?
I'm here with you. You can see Benji in the top right-hand corner, Mongrel in the bottom right-hand corner, Link on the low ground, working between the two. The Rise of the Titans, you can see, trying to challenge up, but Benji holding on with just barely a sliver of HP. One Storm Tick will be enough, but he gets turned over, and now it's Mongrel's match to try and take over. He's on the low ground and being pressured from below. 0 builds left, so it's all going to come down to the gun skill. Sees the player dropping down. First 15 shield tag comes through. 33 tag comes up. Mongrel follows it up. 7 elims, not a build in sight, but he's not stressing it at all. We see the fossil, and we see a nice little jig coming out of him there, as we get a nice look at the end game for match number 3, where all of the top players, as Shio said, just dropped down and got taken out, and everyone was able to capitalize. Now we're going to jump back on over with myself, Zeke, and Bala as we break down the midway point of the action. Gentlemen, that was intense.
Yeah, definitely did not expect the boys to drop out, but hey, that's why we're here. We're all ready to go and catch it where it may fall. Guys, what an awesome game. That is exactly... Well, I mean, we kind of joked about it before. Hey, you know, you try to hold out the Benjis, the Mongrels, the Savages. This is this is their prime time. They say, hey, we're in game number 2, game number 3. All right, hold on. Here's the gas. I'd like the Victory Royale now.
Yeah, but Zeke, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear those wind chimes? That's the winds of change, man. Savage, Benji, and Mongrel had really, really key moments in that game. All of them moving up the standings, but Mongrel in specific, I mean, this guy was a monster. How many elims was that? More than you could even count, and the way that he did it was ridiculous.
We have to take a look. I believe you guys have put together a package for us to take a look at. Because these 3 Titans, we can never forget about these guys, right? They're always waiting in the water.
And right here in particular, you talk about waiting in the water. Savage making sure he builds out 1 extra tile. That's the difference of being in that shallow enough water and not taking the fall damage from above, and then puts the clean tack shots to work to take out Jason, and then he's able to immediately rotate around and catch off Micken up off guard. You can see him deploying through the crash pads, doing everything he can to get away, but his ears are on fire. He has that chili pepper running, and he's able to hit nice AR shots across. But Benji, again, we talked about the mid-game and the prowess of those mythic items if you are able to catch up to him. And Benji putting the crash pads plus the shockwave launcher to work and just raining terror on the rest of the lobby.
This is ridiculous. When you have all 3 of these guys activated like they are, they will storm through like a hurricane, and oh my goodness, that shot from Benji, ridiculous. And to get out of a situation like that, yes, obviously has Kit shockwave launcher to fall back on, but still the composure there, and then the knockdown follow up on the player in front of him, and it's down, and still Benji connects. Still he survives with the 4 lives, and then switching over to Mongrel. Benji ended in 4th place in that game, but you'll see him at the top of the leaderboard when we look. Mongrel also had a similar game, and they're taking out Savage in 16th place to kind of cut that hurricane short.
And I mean, he just absolutely runs through the lobby. And I think one of the biggest parts of Mongrel's loadout is that bottomless chug jug. A lot of people kind of talk, I don't want to say down about it, but don't think it's as useful as some of the others. Enabling him to take these trades in his aggressive playstyle, knowing if he gets this spare time, he's always able to kind of back off and go back to full health. But again, here, Mongrel, we saw it during the World Cup. We've seen it during pretty much every single instance in high-level competitive play. When his back is against the wall, when there are no builds in his inventory, when it comes down to just raw gun skill and knowing where your opponents are, there are few players you want in that position other than the young English Lord who is able to clutch up in so many different instances. I mean, you know for a fact if you're watching him on stream or he's in his room during that point in time, it's just, oh my god, I'm the best! Oh god, yes! I'm the best, I did it! And it's just absolutely crazy.
Wow, I didn't realize that we had you here on stream. How's it going, man? You feel really good about that win, Mongrel? Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, wow. I mean, this is kind of like what we're used to seeing, right? These names are known for a reason. And if at any point we're like, oh man, they're not having a great game, it's like, okay, wait, did you just say I'm not having a great game? All right, hold on. Just hold this slurp juice, watch this. And again, they show us why they are so dominant. Now, guys, I have to applaud Benji. I mean, Ball, you kind of touched on it. The way he utilized that caddy launcher to get himself out of all these situations, you know, so much thought goes into this, especially, again, after these 14 potential matches played. Benji is on it. Let's take a look at the standings very quickly. Ball, if you had something?
Yeah, I mean, it might be easy to fire off a shockwave launcher, just a shockwave down at your feet, but to do it in that split instant where he falls into the box, gets the 1 elim, and then other people are jumping on it, that's ridiculous. And that's why he's catching up, man. And we talked about the winds of change and all this, whatever, but the reality is, Reason fell off spawn, got eliminated to the same person that he beat in Holly Hedges. Kha'Zix, same situation for him, also falling off spawn and making it very difficult for them to keep that standing, especially when you start to have Benji and Mongrel really pushing up on day 1.
And I mean, we've seen before, particularly with those 2 players, where they don't necessarily have the best of starts. We talked about it the last break. We kind of went into it ahead of time. Once they get rolling and get the momentum and get their nerves calm, and they really remind themselves, wait, I am one of the best of the absolute best. People watch me for a reason. They study my mechanics. They practice my moves. They copy my settings. It's because you're at that level. But it takes a little bit to get going, and I think the eliminations and the runs we saw from there in that game are really going to enable them.
We cannot forget, gentlemen. Top 50 will be pushing through. And we still have some room here at the very edge of the bubble for a lot of these other players to kind of make a jump into that top 50. But again, congratulations there to Mongrel. Very well played. We'll have to see if the trio continue this reign of dominance. If they continue to say, look, guys, we're still here. You cannot forget about the old guard because we are known for a reason. Of course, guys, with all that being said, we are going to have to go to a break. What you need to do, get up, walk around, find a snack, get some water, come on back because we have more action out of the FNCS after this. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys after this break.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
What do you need help with, Dilla? What up, bro? Oh, hello. Wait, with auto type. Alright, what up, bro? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'll be doing reactions later, though. Like 5. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just chilling, watching the Champion Series. Who you guys think gonna win? Benji Fishy, Mr. Savage, or Mongrel? Yo, what up, Team Aspect? Yeah, we just having a little view party, watching the Champion Series. If you guys wanna chill with me, hang out, you know, I'm here. I'll be chatting. We got a minute and 48 seconds till they start again. Mr. Savage. You forget Mongrel, bro. Mongrel is top right now. I think Mr. Savage is in like 14th place or something. Yeah, Savage is only in like 14th place. Benji Fishy, yeah. Benji Fishy has been good. Let's see the stats, guys. I want to see the stats. Yeah, let's check the stats. Yeah, he'll clutch up.
Welcome back to the Fortnite.
See who we
Champions
got?
Series.
We got
I'm
Raison,
Chris, and
then we got
Sundown and
NRG,
Bala TW
Benji
as our
Fishy
analysts
in
on the
second
deck.
place.
Now, of course, guys,
Then we
we
got
won
FaZe
small
Mongrel.
games.
I
We are
think
prepared.
Savage
Don't worry
is
about it.
14
We're gonna get ready
IG.
to hop back in.
Savage,
Now, please note
Savage.
here, the Shy Wager's having some internet
Yeah,
issues.
Savage is 13.
So, Monster D-Face is going to be subbing in for him.
Yeah, I'm
Of course,
trying
guys,
to start
I
to
know
play
we're ready.
comp. I really
Sundown,
want to
Bala,
start doing
you
it
guys
right.
excited as I am?
I mean, I'm pumped. The one thing, I'm going to have my eyes glued to that top left corner off of the start to see if anybody in that top 5 goes down off of the start. What about you, Bala?
Same story, man. Same story.
All right, guys. Well, let's send it over to Monster D-Face and Clay.
Yeah, but I need a
Four.
team so I could run trios with. Most of my friends play on console.
Thank you
but
so
I'm
very
on-
much,
I'm on
Zeke.
PC.
We are here and we're ready for the action. It's Monster and Clay. Like we said, we had to pardon Shayo as he gathers his resources to get ready for the next end game. It looks like things are
I could
kicking
play
off with a bang
arenas with
here.
them, but
Squeezy's
when it
gonna
comes to
catch
comps,
Benji Fishy,
I can't.
who was just on a run of his life after that game 3, Clay.
Going down early has been the story of today as well. It seems like everybody that just comes off a hot game goes down at the very, very beginning of the next game. So Benji, while he does go down early, still going to have a good amount of plays there as we swap over here to Rezon again in Holly Hedges. We've seen him fight time and time and again. We'll see who comes out on top of this again. 87 players. That was a replay there from Benji's perspective. We're hopping in a little bit later because we did have to take a little bit of a break there. But Rezon looking to maintain that first. Now he
Yeah,
goes
Rezon
second
is in
place
first
now, so
place.
He's got a little bit of cushion there between him and Mongrel. He was at 29 points there with Mongrel's points. So that point threshold going to be really, really good there for him. But again, he's got to make sure that he doesn't go down early.
So a little insight onto Reason's style.
take
He's
it.
known to take these battles, these early
Yeah,
game
he should have
engagements
taken that
time and
snipe.
time again, but
That would have been
exercise a little
crazy
bit of
snipe.
caution, right? Aaron on the side of caution. He's going to leave Holly Hedges early this time. Remember, he was put dead in his tracks, stopped dead in his tracks coming into that game 3. He hasn't been able to continue to push through with that lead, so the buffer that he had is now gone. He's up there with the rest of the competitors. This is going to be a big opportunity for him to find a snipe shot. And no, he's not going to connect, but okay. Does follow up that body damage from the
22.
AR. Now he's got a situation on his hands here.
I think of his hold goes through onto that player, but he gets dinked as well. So how to use that shark splash? He could use another one about 18 HP off. That's where that awkward moment where you're like, do I use it? Do I not? And if he ends up using it, he does have a player in front of him though, so he's got to be careful about that. We can't discount Mongrel's run. That victory royale there for him was so huge, moving him up all the way into third place there when he had a 19th place before and a 91st place before. So you see an elimination come through as well. We're talking about how huge it is for him, and he's continuing to write his own book and move himself up to the top of the leaderboard.
Nice, let's take it.
Yeah, and just to jump on that,
Nice.
you can see someone else who wants to continue to maintain that lead. Here is Rezon.
Let's go. That's
With
an easy
every
kill.
elim that
Easy kill.
Mongrel
Not shoot to the
catches
roof.
in this game, he's closing the gap, right? There is no more buffer. I think it's a 3-point difference maker here
Nah, I
between
don't
the
think
two.
they
So
can, yeah.
this is an important fight for Reason. He has to stay in the game
Nice.
right now. The angle
Oh.
is not going to be in his favor here as the opponent up top
Watch
is
for
the
that
one we
lag,
see
bro.
down and under, but Reason still taking the battle with full confidence. Now, being pressured back here, this is a scary situation for Reason to be in. Putting all of his
Yeah, if you guys want
placement
to just
on the line here,
chill
quite
with your
literally,
boy
right?
Molly,
The
you know,
tournament is on the
we're
line
chilling,
right now
watching
for him.
watching the view watch party with
Ooh,
me.
and
See those
almost
clips.
boxing that player up like a fish. They are going to be able to get
Yeah,
away
we're
with
watching
it.
Raison is in first
Who
place.
has
We're
been
watching
moving around
Raison.
drop spots, hasn't really had one consistent
Yeah,
one
he's
it
in
seems
first
like.
place.
Rezon does have knowledge of where he is holding for a little bit. He's not going to
You
aggressive
gotta
because
chill.
doesn't
You
have the
can't
front
get
splashes to
killed
back
right
him
now. You just
at
gotta
HP
chill,
gain
man.
very quickly, but I think he wants this. I think he's
Yeah,
waiting to
he
pounce,
wants it,
waiting
but
for
he gotta
Tricky to make
chill.
a mistake. Maybe open that edit. He can go for a quick charge shot there. This is a very, very big battle because, again, we saw Rezon go down very early last game, 93rd place. No points there for him. If he gets another game of no points, this is not going to look
Yeah,
good
they're not
for him.
gonna be good.
He's going
You gotta
to more
chill.
than likely fall in the standings if Mongrel is able to have a great game, if Link is able to have a great game,
God,
or even
mashup,
if
dude.
Ezek
No
is
more
able to turn it
Fortnite.
around.
No.
I mean, that's right. What's at stake
got
here
to get
is
your
this tournament
internet
run.
gear.
Remember, 35 points is great and all for the
Yeah, we got to get
first
you
half of the show.
Tell
But you
Jalen
need a
look
little
in his
more,
little
right, if you want
someone.
to continue to solid
extra one.
or secure your way all the way through. Here's Mr. Savage, though, that we get to see on the other hand.
How much for one at,
Launchpad's gonna be a
at Office
fail from
Max?
Flick, so his escape route actually being blocked out here now, and Mr. Savage has got him cornered. He has to take this fight in full here.
Bro, and I have
Savage
a
playing the
ton
wall,
of
the
them
low
back
wall. He's
home,
gonna
you
push
know.
all the way through. The fresh edits are gonna be enough for the
I have a
tactical
ton
to
back home.
finish Flick. And now another point for Mr. Savage, who has found his second breath of air in the competition right now. Inching his way
No,
up
we
to
gotta get you.
21 points, Clay. This is 2 eliminations,
$20,
2
I
massive
think. We gotta get you a
eliminations
card,
with
man.
82 players still in the game.
And it's
Well, you
perfect
could
for him.
use.
This is where he turned online. We got that stat that flew in earlier.
I know.
How
You,
game
I don't
three
think
usually
your
starts to
Wi-Fi's
get
gonna
a lot
be
of points,
a lot of lagging.
eliminations that come
Yeah,
through
you need that
for him. And
internet
now
cable.
game 4 is going to be just the same. He's already starting to get those eliminations. We know he's going to get
Well, you
those
gain
extra
one,
points
nice, good.
based on where the zone is
Just
and where
make my
his
day
zone's
better.
located. We do move back over to again.
Yeah,
a
cause we
very
gotta
big fight
react
between
later.
Rizwan
We
and
gotta
Jerky.
react to people
As
later.
peanut butter edits are being
And
exchanged. Stairs are
probably
being
might do the
exchanged as
fashion
well.
show
He's on with that charge out.
tomorrow.
He's trying to find that angle. Sundown talked about how he looks for that left-handed peek on the full charge. This is one of the few players that is very, very good and very, very advanced in doing that. He's continuously catching his opponents off guard by doing
That's
so.
the
Jerky,
first
however,
place
is not
player we're
falling
watching
for it.
right now,
He
Harvey.
knows his opponent is in there, though. He's been playing this box right.
Raisin and
perfectly.
Jerky been
The shots
fighting
are
for
gonna go
like
through. Jerky is
5
gonna lose
minutes
the
now.
majority of the HP
But
there.
he needs to
You
chill
heard
because he's in
Marco
first.
say
If he
a
lose this
very,
match,
very
he's
big
gonna
tag
lose his
there.
first place.
Now this fight is in
So he
Rizwan's
gotta
favor.
chill.
It's an important battle for Reason. It's probably the most important battle of the day for him right now. Hence, he needs to do this, and it's been dragged out. At this point, you're at the area or the time in the fight
If
where
you guys
have to
here, I
fully
really
commit.
appreciate you guys stopping
Jerky
by.
is gonna get
It
shot
really
from
mean a lot
behind,
to
though.
me.
Now, more reason to actually conclude the battle here now. Yes, stepping up for the wall take. He's looking for every opportunity to get in, and Jerky's in a world of trouble. No more material left in the bucket for him. And I think Reason's also just about out of mass. That's it. He jumps in the box, and he catches him from behind now. And Reason, luckily, honestly, gets away with this one for free at that point because of the third party. And now turning his focus onto the third party. He wants more action.
And look, close that window
He's
for
not
them
slowing
people.
down at any moment. He says, you know what? I may be in first, but I want to secure this. I
You
don't
getting
wanna
one
go
today?
out
You getting a
by
cut today, Adri?
losing by 1 point or being that close. I want to have my lead be so far ahead of everybody. That
You don't know? Yeah, I don't know a lot of
to worry
them.
about
I
it
know
going
a
into the
little
final
bit of
game.
them. I don't know
That's what he's
much.
doing with these snipes. He's just looking for people. It doesn't matter that he's on the backside of zone.
Yeah, the Raison
He's actually
kid,
gonna
he's
rotate
cracked.
into him. He's saying, you know what? I'm just going to snipe at you. And if
He,
you wanna fight me,
Benji,
I'm going to fight you too. This is very, very big
Savage, you gotta watch
confidence
out for
him.
those kids.
We have to see how it plays out as we swap over to Tayson. Again, we talked about gameplay-wise is not having the best of days. 17 points, though. Near Mr.
11
Savage's
Tayson.
threshold. And it looks like
I
he's
wonder
coming
if we
up
get
on
any
elimination.
NAs in here. I'm not
So
sure
Mr.
if any.
Savage was able to do with his heels against the wall. His back
Qualifier
against
for
the
the
wall.
EU.
Now it's up to Tayson to put up.
Nice
results here
tags.
in the game. He's gonna find himself a
Yeah,
good
you
shot.
gotta
He's
get
gonna
this
beat
kill
all the
because that's
advances that
nice
he needs to
tags.
take this battle with pure confidence.
Yeah, you
At
have to
17
take.
points. This is an elam that he
Go
absolutely
up.
needs right now. If he wants to secure
told
his
you,
way
go
towards
up,
top
bro.
50. Let's see it. The battle is breaking out. This player is running for his life, though. The crash pad's gonna come out. Tayson's got more of a reason to want to push in. Yes, he's going to use his own crash
bro.
pad now.
Take the
Very
shot.
prestigious one indeed.
Oh my god.
Accidentally sips off, though. He blows the second one there. Let's see,
Yeah,
though.
you need this
Remember, he
kill.
hasn't given this guy an opportunity to heal, so this is very much a fight that he can take.
Yeah, he can't take it. What is he doing? Oh, it's lagging. Yeah, he need that
The
kill.
launch pad's working in his favor there. The stink grenades working in his favor. I can't tell if that's his opponent throwing them or someone nearby. I think it is his opponent that's trying to make it happen. Slad here just on the back foot.
Yeah, he's
He
just
has
running.
to have a chance, like Monster said, and Tayson working this very, very well. The downside
Run,
is
Sled.
this is a very
Run,
long
Sled.
fight. This is wasting a lot of match for both
Let's
players.
go.
And Tayson is
He got the
finally gonna
kill.
capitalize on it.
Yeah.
The lucky part for Tayson is there's nobody anywhere close to him.
Nope.
He's able to
So you
get that
good?
lead.
Look.
Just try to farm back up and get on his way to zone. That was a perfect fight. However, it took long.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect situation there for Tayson.
And over to the side there, you can see how the format
All right,
works out and
we
how
got
the points are
Mongo.
being divvied out. It is 1 point per elimination, and that victory royale being worth 14 big points. So obviously placement being heavily favored in today's competitive tournament format. Speaking about that, though, your previous game winner, Mongrel, already on elimination, off to the right setting here to kick things up. Sundown did provide some great highlight and insight onto the Infinite's Chug Jug, right? The bottomless Chug Jug that he has here. We know that this can come in handy in solo settings. It particularly shines here now in the mid game if you get tagged up. Allows you to really just save a lot of material, or I should say HP resource. So seeing that Mongrel's been getting away with the Fortilla loot constantly, consistently, over and over again is a very good sign for him moving into grand finals. We'll see though, as he's making this very risky rotation. Yes, between multiple players, shots are going to come in from the mountain side, switching even that wood wall there to a heftier material just in case to give himself a little bit more protection to pop this Chug Jug here. That's the only downside to it. It's the 15 seconds you have to wait.
He had to be sure no one was around him, because if they heard that Chug Jug being popped, you know they would have pushed onto him and assumed that he was really, really low. As Seventor is going to get sniped there, Mongrel will do exactly what you said. Is it a mid-game situation? Got tagged up, boxed up, going to use the Chug Jug, and now he's on his way. Perfect timing there with the zone there for him as well. He's just going to get a nice, easy rotate in. Now, he does have these players fighting in front of him. He is getting a nice rotate around
He got 2 players
as well. Looking out with that AUG. He's ready to
He got somebody in his box watching him.
Although I am worried about that shotgun situation. He does protect it with the wall. Mongrel's playing very, very well, and I expect to see him late into this game if he's able to make everything line up and more shots coming through. Gonna box up, wait for those walls to solidify, and maybe start to use that Chug Jug.
And honestly, just getting tagged that first time might have worked out in his favor. You can see all the builds that were there already. He was able to recycle and push across and rotate across with, saving him a little bit. Now setting up a nice little 2x1 base here. Nice wide spread. And yes, he's going to find Vortexia. This is now the second time
let's go.
Falls into the mid game. We saw it coming into game 2. Now we're seeing it here in game 4. Vortexia slipping away here in the competition. That's got to be a rough one for him. But now, Mongrel's got someone else in sight. It's someone up on height, crash padding in. He's in his territory, but it doesn't look like this is going to go out any further. Just a little replay, though.
A replay on Ezek's perspective. See what happens here. He does have that hunting rifle out looking for it. And it's going to go through. And Hid is going to be the one to take him down there. I think that was a hunting rifle shot as well. So a very, very big elim there from Hid.
You forget what that hunting rifle can do, how fast you can react with it. Hen finds something massive. Here's that infinite Chug Splash, the bottomless Chug Jug from Ocean. Like we said, the loot really can play a benefit here. That Chug Jug being able to consistently heal time and time again in this mid game. He's got a minute to rotate here to zone 4, so we speak about how you can use it here, and that's the only time. But no, he looks like he's going to fall to Reason, who's going to connect off in the distance now, and it's all of his loot.
Reason
so
killed him.
Had a little bit of an off sync there, but that's okay.
Yeah. Reason just killed Mongrel.
Game because Mongrel was his biggest competition.
Yeah, he just killed Mongrel. He just take Mongrel out.
Taking it out. We talked about his confidence. He's not stopping. He says, you know what? You're near me. I'm going to take you out.
Yeah, Reason is in first place, and he just take out the second player.
I don't care who you are. I want first place.
Yeah, Reason is popping out.
I have it at the end of the day. And now we see him crash padding through the air, looking to secure his rotation in. What a beautiful play by Reason to realize.
If you guys there, really appreciate you guys stopping by for the view party.
And
really means a lot.
Reason just putting the pressure up. Hid, however, someone again that had a very, very good first game and has yet to have a solid game. Did get a 14th place there, but obviously these players looking for that top 10 placement points that start to ramp on up. Hid, Dear Frenzy Farm looks like he may be in a fight with someone behind him. No, it's just going to go ahead and rotate on again. Very, very good player, but just did not have the solid second game that we were looking for. We'll see if he gets it here today.
And I'm still just thinking about the irony of Reason taking out his biggest competition here in the tournament, literally snatching back the crown here to kick things off.
Thanks for stopping by, bro. We're just having a little view party.
A crucial elimination with that big shot from before. Now, though,
we're gonna be reacting to montages later. What up, Beans?
Moving in towards the half in, half out are gonna be pretty easy for him to make.
Yo, Beans.
A little bit of a weak point here.
What
the
up,
enemy
bro?
Build. He's gonna look to break that floorboard there, but the enemy was fully connected now. Hen still
we're gonna do reactions later, Beans. So make sure you stop by.
Little heights too, so he's not in the congested layer by any means. He's actually sitting.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little watch party.
Point in time in the game where Next
See how
10
the EU
seconds are gonna
players
reveal the half in, half
do.
out. With how many crash pads he has, it
We
should
got
be too
Azon
much
in
of an
first
issue for him
place.
right now. I think
Mongrel
he's
was in
actually
second place, but
situated
Azon
really,
just
really
eliminated
well
that
here
Mongrel.
for this next zone. We'll see though. One more zone's gonna
Right
reveal,
now,
and
since
yes,
I
it
can't
is gonna
play,
favor
why
him
you can't
pretty
play
much
Beans?
here. And on top of that, he
You're not
finds
home?
Train H's Robobs there, but he can't grab the loot.
A very heads-up play by him to realize people are going to be rotating on that edge of zone. Able to grab any of that loot would be so good for him. He's only on 89 builds, but not able to capitalize on that. We do see Quavado pick up.
Yeah, Mongrel just got eliminated by Azon. Yeah, Mongrel just got
We
eliminated.
saw with him before, but
Oh, you
don't know
grounded
how
for
consistently
2 months?
these players are able to hit it.
No.
Again, Mythic POIs are very, very.
We gotta be on
heavily
our best
contested
behavior to
from
cut that
whoever
down to at
was
least
not
2
really
weeks.
contested
No,
this time around.
let's
It
be on your
was
best
Mr.
behavior,
Savage.
and
He does have two Elan.
like a
Maybe
week
from our
after,
rotation, maybe he did find him on
Mom might
off
let you
guard.
on.
He's in zone. He's looking really good.
2
We
months?
talked
No
about it. These are his
way.
games that he's turning online, where he's looking for these big plays, where he's looking for these top 5, top 2, top maybe 1 finishes. And the old guard right now is looking really, really good here in Europe.
That's right, and you can see him just putting the pressure here with this AR from downrange right now, really trying to find anything that's
I mean, that's
possible.
EU
Holding a
qualifiers
textbook
one.
line of sight here down
has
the
to be
back
2
portion of the
months
zone.
since
The
I
players that
haven't
have to
played.
rotate in
Might
right
get
now.
it
The
tomorrow.
longer they stay back there, the more likely the
All right,
rest of
good.
the server's gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
They're
man,
gonna
we gotta
that
get you back.
chime, that ring on the
Get you
phone,
back
like,
on
hey,
the grind.
turn this way, right? So there it is. That player's gonna get on out of there. Let's see. Savage still has his focus on all of these players now. 18 seconds until the next zone is gonna reveal itself here. And let's not forget, guys, this is the European region, the day 1 of the FNCS. These players have already gone through the ringer of qualifiers, and now we're looking to secure a next top 50. So that's
I
what's
think
on
this
the
is
line here.
the second game.
Reason. Quite
Yeah, I think this is
literally
second
making
game.
power
I'm
strides
not
in
sure.
this game
I
right
just
now
that.
after
Oh,
taking
game
out
4.
Mongrel.
It's game 4.
He actually chose the left.
Game
out
4
bottom
flips.
of the jug.
Well, you're not in head
Really
flips. You
keeping
crack.
the
You
zone
belong in
with
head.
the strong crash pad
I
away
want to
from it.
see you on the
That's not gonna be an
NAEs.
issue
Stop
there
playing
for any
flips.
players. You still have that Jules grappler.
Gotta
gun
see
in
you on
the-
the,
in play,
you crack.
as well as Kid's shockwave launcher, and of course that charge shotgun, very, very potent. Rezon does have the mythic burst rifle there. We can assume
Game
that the drone
4.
gun was probably
We got
left
two
somewhere in
more
40.
games.
Most players tend to not want to pick it up there, as we get a nice shot of Noah Riley, who's on the high ground. His hand is right down below him as well. As Rezon is looking very aggressive, so the aggressiveness is not.
Let's go,
But then he
Rezon.
takes out
Yeah,
Quavado,
Rezon
who
in first
particularly
place.
had the
Yeah,
caddy
so
mythic loot.
he got 3 eliminations, so
That's
you know
what's
he's
happening
gonna.
here already.
If he
4
got
key
that
points now.
win-
He was actually looking to pull a little bit of a epic whale special, it seemed, for a second there, to land inside the box.
Yeah, this game is
Flips
stacked.
right out and now finds
Stacked.
one piece of real estate here to continue to inch his way in. Remember, this is the first full moving zone. You're looking at the player on height right now. One of
First
maybe
moving
2 or
zone,
3.
by the
Yes,
way.
there is a battle going on off to the side here. It's Hen trying to get a piece of the action, and one single ramp he's gonna break out, and now Height's gonna go down with a big
Let's
ball.
go.
It doesn't even matter. He takes out Noah mid-air with every shot that he needed to connect, and now Hen
Yeah, he
is
gotta
the
try to get those
master
mats.
of the Height here. 3 eliminations and the big, absolutely huge find, the shockwave launcher.
Aimbot.
And Kit's mythic shotgun here as well, Clay. This is looking like it's his game to run away with. He sent someone flying into the zone. And now again,
No.
there's no threats on high ground.
And there's only one threat to high ground, and that is the grappler gun. But he's essentially nullified all of that, taking
Yeah, this
that
game is
shockwave
stacked.
launcher. A very, very good find here for him. This is
Let's
pretty
go.
much a victory run if
Yeah,
he's
he
able
just-
to secure it and just
5
play it
elims.
perfectly as he takes out another player. 5 eliminations now coming here for him. He could start to push up to 6, 7, maybe 8 eliminations if he continues this. As crash pads are going through
8
the shots
eliminations and a
for him.
win. Yeah, that'll be
Everybody
very
flying
good
through
for
the
him.
air. He's just trying to make sure he gets tags on him, make sure he keeps up with the players behind him floppering. We've seen it before. Kazix took it in game number 1. That's how he beat the Rezon beat it there against Moraine. As we swap over to Savage, who's 110 effective HP in a very bad spot, but he's gonna find Kylix not paying attention.
That is so huge for Mr. Savage. He needed the siphon there. He finds exactly what he needs. And
Savage
just
got
let's
free
think
then.
about this, guys, what this means. Hen is the newest competitor now, looking for first place against Reason. So there's a lot on the line and holding his high ground. Shockwave launcher from Hen's going to come out. Savage has his focus on him now, and it's Savage's height. But wait a second, there's
Yeah,
more.
he just lost
There's
that.
another player playing for high ground as well. So this is it. Big fight right here. Big engagement. Savage is going to bully off Hen. And now 28 points for Mr. Savage, 3 eliminations. I see Moraine Marine. Marine still in the game as well. These are huge names, Clay. Big names in the running right now.
Savage has that crash pad. He could use it. You see Rezon taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to pick up an elimination.
Oh my gosh.
He was down. His backs were against the ropes. He picked it up. And that's just a testament to how he's playing right now. You see him flying through the air, 50, 40 effective.
Rezon is still alive, but pretty hurt.
As well. Hit on top. Marine there in the zone as well. Needs to get in. Nate there. Lestream Skite is there. These are very, very big names for the European region. Frey on one side, Hit on the other. They're trying.
Yeah, I think Rezon a henchman.
Savage is going to take down Rezon. That's a huge.
No, Rezon is gone.
He is going to take down Nate, I believe.
Savage gonna come up. I think Savage is in the 13th place. Yeah.
Savage down below, Sky there as well. Shockwave's being used. Savage gets flowed into zone. That's probably it for him. Sky gonna take down one. Frey versus Hand in almost a 1v1 as there's a couple players still here. Sky is still here. Savage, I think, is still barely alive. No, he is gonna fall now as well. So Sky, Frey, and Hand in a 1v1v1. Hid has got the heal off. We know Frey has got no more floppers. He is going to get the elimination there on the Sky, but Hid secures it there with the elimination.
Henchman.
The AR shots reign supreme. He didn't even get the shockwave at the end. A 7 elimination. Victory Royale.
What a massive game right there. But with that, we're going to throw it over to Zeke and the crew to break down all of the action. Zeke, take it away.
Look at that, guys. Crazy. Just look beautiful.
Thank you guys so much. Great cast there. Congratulations to Hen picking up the victory royale. What's crazy about this, guys, is in the first game we saw Hen go head-to-head with Kezix, and he placed second. And he said, this is not
let's see who we got
enough.
in first place, guys.
I want a victory royale. And thanks to that clutch elimination where he found the caddy launcher, it all goes his way.
Okay, we got Rezon, BL,
and the biggest thing is the
Mongrel in third place.
Just season 3 chapter 2 endgame going through there. It's baiting out, trying to locate where that shockwave launcher is, who's been able to put it to work, where high ground is, and can you make
Benji in
fifth
place.
Play at it, and Hen put it all together. And right now, this is just
Mr. Savage made it all the way to 4th place from 13.
After 4 games. They're all contesting so close to the top, and it's going to come down to some of the monumental plays like this. I mean, just the awareness from Hen here to be able to pick up and over and get the shockwave launcher. Now as we switch on over here to Reason picking up a huge elim over there, getting into the top 10. Again, each one of those 5 placements being a additional point going through. And the 47 is really a level of consistency that hasn't been seen in a while, Bala.
No, it hasn't. Reason gets out of a sticky situation, but ends up putting himself, we might say this is a typical end game from Hen, but there's so much going on. He goes up against Mr. Savage, so this added flair of the players up at the top fighting each other. You remember Reason taking out Mongrel earlier? Here's the perspective of Mr. Savage, just holding that charged shotgun, ready and waiting for Reason. But once it ends up happening is a typical endgame because Hen will sneak in a shockwave into Mr. Savage's box, just barely. And he flies all the way out of zone and ends up falling right there as the wall breaks. And that's the end for him. He continues to rise, so it might not have as big of an impact, but that is the typical story in these endgames. Regardless though, 3 players left and it's still stacked. Hen is going to win this game with 7 eliminations in the final moments. And because he takes that high ground that you mentioned so brilliantly, Sundown, was amazing.
And it's really showing
kind of the high ground is key in those matches, guys.
Consistency wins out, but to consistently be at the top,
high ground, yeah, you have to be good.
Every single one of these players who is in the top of these standings has been doing so incredibly well today and capitalizing on the opportunities they've been given.
That's right, man. These end games are just getting harder and harder. Now, of course, we can't forget it's top 50 that are moving on to the next set of heats. But all the old guard, I mean, all these names we're so used to seeing are ready. They are in their prime right now, jumping in and aiming for that top spot. Let's take a look at the standings together, see who holds down that number 1 spot. Is it still Reason? Is he still maintaining his lead? Or has someone else stepped forward and dethroned him? Can Henchman, Hen, aim for that spot? Unfortunately, just 2 points behind, but still jumping all the way up there. And look, again, these 3 big names, Mongrel, Savage, Benji. And a quick note, 8 of these top 10 were actually players that made it and were in the finals of the FNCS Invitational. So this is as stacked as it can get.
And it has DreamHack winners, Teak, Moraine, and Savage. All 3 of the possible EU DreamHack winners are there and fighting in the top 10. This is ridiculous, but we also talked about the impact that all these guys are having on each other. Reason took out Mongrel, and real quick, I just want to bring it up. Reason actually won the Mongrel Cup, so that one part was like, hold on, I'm actually the king. You can run tournaments all you want. But I will win whatever tournament is
What up,
thrown, because
Deluxe?
right now it's
Thanks
a
for
statement.
stopping by. I'll come back, bro.
It's a statement, and realistically, they're backing it up. Like, Reason has been backing it up.
Okay, you
with
just
this
missed out on
performance.
a
all of these veterans going
yeah.
against each other, putting out consistent
Stacked
after
match.
consistent performance. And with 2 games left, it's really
Hench
going to be,
won the match,
hey,
though.
can I push myself into a guaranteed qualifier for the Heats?
The
Can I get that
henchman,
top 50?
DL
Or
henchman.
if you're in that top 10, it's can I get a little bit of a pay bump? Can I take that first place spot? What can I do to make a little bit more out of today for myself?
Yeah, you absolutely want to be pushing forward. Now, of course, making the top 50 will mean you can qualify. We see that threshold is 14 points and 4 eliminations. But if you're these guys at the top, you want to hit that number 1 spot, right?
Yep.
You want to be that number 1 seed, if you will, heading into heats, not only for the money, but to also the recognition and to say, look, I came out of this as number 1, so you need to fear me. And if I'm trying to hit a drop spot that you want to hit, I was first. So you need to respect that. Now, guys, we're getting ready to get into all the action. We have 2 games left to go. Now, we're going to be hopping into this game 10 minutes into the game and getting a jump start in all the action. So for now, let's get on over to Monster D-Face and Clay for all the action. Now is what I said.
Okay.
Or now?
Oh, no.
All right, you know how Z gets down, guys. He likes to have some fun over on the desk. You give him the mic, and he takes it away. But either way, we are hopping right back in. It's Monster D-Face. It's Clay Staling here. And like Zeke mentioned, we are getting into the action to get all caught up here. And the first person we're touching down base with, it's Mongrel. Mongrel, who was just dethroned by Reason. Reason, one of the hottest players on the competitive real estate on the market right now, quite literally putting up such a performance today. The first place hold is not too strong, though. He's only up by 2 points.
And
Mongrel
Mongrel just
right
killed
now
someone.
in
Yeah.
the top 3 slotting. And this is another fight that's going to matter so much here, Clay, because he already has 1 elimination.
Yep.
He has to continue to back these players off.
And in all honesty, he can completely disengage. He's got peppers to run away. He's got the loot that he wants. He's good to disengage, but he wants this Elim because he knows what disadvantage he's at. He's also got some loot down there as well, which I can only assume is from his other elimination there that he's backed that player off of. Those henchmen shooting all around him. He's got to be careful as well. But overall, Mongrel in a very good spot. Picked up an early elimination, picked up the mythic boss loot already. Now he's on his way out of the POI and continuing to rotate out. Almost max materials already. Only, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, I
into the
tried.
game?
It just started,
That's
though.
right, and it's more about laying down the law here. Let's not forget, this is only the first major step.
Yeah, it
right?
just
Qualifying
started.
towards your way
I'm
to grand
trying to
finals,
grind
and
comp
then
more.
You have to defend your drop spot. You have to really put on a show. So if you're already in the position now to succeed
What about you,
towards that
Deluxe?
top 50, I think it is important to fend off your drop spot and play as aggro as possible. Really alpha up here.
Yeah, I've
Speaking
just
of which,
started
there's Mr.
playing
Savage
comps,
doing a
so
little bit of a flex drop off of his typical boat drop spot. He's already on the move here. Remember, we're deep into the action, so you can see that the loot route has already played its favor.
It's always
Savage
good
has
to
already
watch,
cleared out his drop
you
spot,
know,
and now he's rotating on his
so you could
pathing
learn.
through the islands. This is also what he likes to do here. He's already switching things up.
Know your
Instead of
best
using the river
movements
rotate,
and
he's taking the landmass
rotations.
straight into this next zone, which is looking like it's going
Number
to
one.
favor down westward towards the southwest portions of the map. So a little bit of a different terrain we're looking at here, Clay, moving into this game number 5.
It'll be the first time we see this new area around Rickety Rig and Slurpee really play into where the zone is. We talked about earlier, and it's been mentioned, right? The old guard versus the new guard. Who's going to submit their legacy here today in Fortnite, right? Rezon at the top, a relatively an unknown player if you're not paying that much attention
Yeah.
to competitive Fortnite. Really popped off in
Reason is popping
FNCS
off.
duos and has been dominating ever since. Has come in and said, hey, you know what? It's not just a one-off thing. I am here, and I'm here to make a name for myself. Hen, as well, one of the lesser-known players in the European region as well, is trying to make a name for themselves over players like Savage Mongrel, and Benji, who are right there in 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And I love the little stat drop there. This is the first time we've ever seen Savage, Benji, and Mongrel all in the top 5 in a solo competition. So history being made here. The biggest profiles on the EU region, all at the top of the food chain right now, making it that much more exciting. But I can't stop talking about Hen and Reason, who I think are some of the hottest players out there. They have to
EU
get
got
the respect
a
that
lot
they
of
deserve.
sweats.
You got to give
Nice
it to them
tags.
because they've been putting up a show. It's not just on team-based game modes. It's in a solo setting where they're shining the most here. But hold up, Savage is on a battle right now. He's rotated into Pleasant Park, and he's feeling the confidence in his bones right now. So he's pushing through. There it is, the sideways box hop. And it's not going to work, but it's okay because he continues to find the tactical tags right through the cracks when it matters most here. Continue to set up, though, Clay. He wants this fight. Look at him. He's going in.
Nice.
He won it, and he got it, and he ended it quickly. And that's the best thing about Savage in these fights that we've seen.
Yeah, he got to end the fight quick.
He gets in quick, he finishes the fight, or he gets eliminated, and then it's done, right? He's not taking time to really build out, to go box to box to box. It's
shit on, right?
Quick. And that's
Savage.
solo early into mid games, because if you're fighting and you're build fighting to max height, obviously we all know that's definitely not the way. Because we're now on board here again with Benji. Right, we've saw Mongrel, we've seen Savage, and now Benji.
Yeah, Savage made it up,
very early on, but has yet
he's coming back
down a little bit. He still got these last couple of games to make it towards that first spot. Right, he's not going to be satisfied unless he's in first. As we see now, he saw that player rotate in. He's looking to
Savage made it to 4th place.
Onto this player. He's got to be careful though.
From 13th place, he made it to 4th place.
Not surprised though if Benji gets this beam and just decides to push.
Let's talk about the confidence. We tuned in with Mongrel.
Benji and RG1 both to fight.
Savage already on 2. Benji Fish is the only one of the 3 right now who hasn't
going in for his 3rd kill.
Yet. Let's see how it's going to play out though.
Those tags, bro.
Still feeling the aggression in his bones, like we said. He's continuing to push on through. He's backed this player off. And I think this guy has an idea of who it is that's on his heels right now. It's Mr. Savage setting up the box boost. He's trying to get into your positioning now. And just think about it, right? The way Fortnite landscape has already changed. Everyone knows now.
Tags,
stay in the box.
bro,
this kid. Safe, not by any means.
This kid,
no. Let you in every single time. And it's Kylex. This is a big elimination for him.
Yep.
Who was doing A-OK.
Savage look like he's coming for that first place, IJ.
He's taken out early coming into game 5. You have to think his position in the tournament is probably in the air now.
I would definitely think so. That was so smart by Savage to make the edit, close it really quick to fake that edit. So Kylie started to drop down, and then he can make the edit that he really wanted to and get the elimination. Very, very well played, and I wouldn't expect it any other way. Now we're on board here with Teak, who, again, very, very big name in these last coming months, has definitely popped off time and time and again, winning that dream hack open there just a little bit ago. He's going to pick up the elimination there onto a Rotary. He's got another player nearby, but I think this is going to be the end of the slide. I think that player realized, hey, a third party came in. They got siphoned relatively quickly. I'm not going to mess with that. Dropping a little dance there on the opponent just to make sure they know, hey, I'm here. I had a bad couple games, but I'm here. And now, talking about whether or not Benji's going to get elimination. He's in a box. He's got that player one shot. Crashback could be used here. He does have the wall. The edit going to be a little bit slow there for Benji, but he's still got the pressure up. There with the top. He is going to try to get in the box, but that crash pad going to come out for the player. And this should be easy pickings here for Benji, but he's going to miss that crash pad. And that player going to be able to skate away for the time being. But I think Benji's going to be able to follow that player right in and pick that elimination up.
That's right. I mean, you know he wants a piece of this action right here. He wants this point, especially after how much he's already put into the opponent. This guy's running for his dear life, though. He's got 6 crash pads right there. He's already through. And now you can see he's backed his way up into another set of an opponent here. It's Nate's and Lazarov. So Lazarov is the one who's in the most peculiar situation, getting tagged up from multiple angles here now. And Benji's in the box.
He's in the box. Hello.
Bye-bye, Lazarov. To open up the box was the tactical right through the roof here now. Didn't even need a crash pad to enter on in, but instead, he finds his way in for free just by putting a little bit of pressure up from above. Now Benji, full-on refresher in the mid-game. We know how important that can be. And he's got the heals. He's got the floppers, right? So an end game is looking very likely right now for Benji.
Another player that's in that top 10, Marine, who has been a very, very great solo player. over just the longest period of time, starting with that DreamHack Winter win.
No
It was a
joke.
very, very great win from him. And again, having great placements, I think in DreamHack got
See what's
top
telling about the
5,
cones,
I think
Adrian?
5th place exactly there. Looking to solidify that. Right now, he was sitting in 6th going into this game. So right on the edge. Again, top 50 is what players are, playing for to move on to heats. But everybody here wants to get that first place, wants to get that extra little bit of recognition as well as the casters. Shots are coming through. Mariah
Oh, he
the
got
third
there,
party
man.
so beautifully, and the target selection was perfect because he chose the weaker player.
That's right. Vevy didn't have any shield there. Now let's just talk about Marine's current run right now. He's off to a phenomenal start. If you just reference the way he played at DreamHack, he only came up towards the tail end. This time around, Marine's looking like in good shape right now. He's looking like he's in really good shape. So I'm excited to see how he's going to pull through for tomorrow, because I think he solidified his way through the top 50. Any of these players right now in this 30-plus point range is looking very likely to continue to pull on through. Benji's going to narrowly dodge the harpoon shot there, and now another player is going to be the victim here as he's pushing on through, looking for the control of the walls. The double boost through, and now the ramp inside. Here goes the box, and no, the crash pad is just enough for that guy to escape, but not before getting tagged by Benji with the shotgun. You know he's going to finish the deal here. Let's see now, Clay, as he's trying to pick and move and decide what the finishing move is going to be. He's got a world of options, right? He can boost in with the ramp. Yes, he can.
Let's
or
go.
take the crash pad. This is going to be Flick, though. Oh, no. Yes, and he raised
That
the
is
fight.
so
It's going
foul.
to be a 4 out of 10 for the escape route Flick. It was not good enough there. It was that Frey, excuse me. I think it was Frey, so it was not going to be good enough. GG's.
Benji is playing like he is so
Okay.
far behind. He's playing it so
Right
well.
on.
When you look at the way he's playing, it looks like he is down 20, 30 points. In reality, he's only down about 13, 12
Guys, I
points
got
at
no,
this point. As we see Rezon now on your screen.
He ain't got
he's
no,
our first leader right now coming into this game. He started out with 47
Rezon
points.
is number
Now,
1 though.
just that placement coming on through. Rezon.
Yeah,
as
he
well,
number
changing
100.
up their play style. We saw Rezon last game play very confidently and go very aggressive. Now moving into game number 5, they're playing a little bit more passively. They're saying, okay, wait, now it's getting into those moments where if I make a mistake, if I make the smallest wrong move, that is my tournament on the line.
Let's just talk about Reason's performance as well. Grand Finals is where he has yet to show up on these big stage tournaments, right? He fell short on DreamHack, but his qualifying days were so good. I think he actually took away the open qualify day, the semi-final day for DreamHack. So it just shows you these days where the fighting matters most, right? Where typically you need to, more play a little bit more confidently and take battles for the W key. He shines, but this is a special situation where it's still the top 100, right? And he's doing it here, so he's showing championship quality as a player. This will be arguably as good as the Grand Finals. These games, there's just as much on the line as far as players' skill goes. Here's Seventor, though. Seventor has been killing it today as well, also in the top 10 here. Just take a look at him already putting that compact to use right now, looking to get inside as well now. Doesn't grab the wall, but I think there's a player shooting from behind here, Clay. He's got the advantage.
He definitely does, and this is just perfect control over the box in the surrounding area. As Saban is just going to go down to a couple tag shots. Seventor played that very, very well, and now he's going to be able to reap the benefits there. Get another fight that was relatively quick. It wasn't like 7 different boxes long. You see it's just a little bit of a 2x4 there. As Seventor is now sitting comfortably in his own builds. He's got extra mats in case zone moves a little bit towards him. He's set up. He's looking good. And as you see the placement format there on your screen, he's not in that second tier of placement yet, which it's only elims right now for him. He's looking really good. This could be the game that turns it online for him.
Yeah, now that I think about it, with Frey falling down, who's in top 10, to Benji, that puts a complete pause on him, and he only had 28 points. So Seventor is in 11th place right now. He is just behind where Frey was. So with Frey out of the game, this is his opportunity to break into top 10 now and give himself an opportunity to be in that top 10 standing, that prestigious top 10. But no, he gets beamed as he crosses here. But lucky for him, he's playing the fish game right now. The irony enough. And no, the pressure is still too much. Someone collapses on top of him. And that means top 10 is out of
waited
the
for
grasp
him. They
for
saw
game
that.
5, and it's over for him. One game remains for him to now prove himself as a top 50 player.
And that's the problem with using those crash pads that way. We all know if you put a crash pad onto itself, it's
they
gonna
knew
bounce the perfect distance for you to get it to the next bounce. If
Yeah, they
you
waited
line
on
that up,
him.
If you catch it like that, you are 100% going to just get beamed out of the air like he did. As we now hop on board here with BL Hin, and BL Henchman there on your screen. He's got the perfect loadout for this zone. He is 39 above, and that's going to be a little bit of a cause for concern. Because if you look around him, there is nobody. He's got a couple players right nearby, but he is all alone on this side of the zone. You see just completely open to the right. There's some players that he can shoot at. If he goes down, he is going to have to make a crash pad play into a box to get aggressive, and I don't think he wants to play that style of play. He's more than one of those players that plays aggressive in-game and gets those elims or in-game like we saw that last game. He picked up the dub. He's going to have to make a play here for more Storm Surge tags.
And I'm just thinking about the stark differences between Hen and Reason, two up-and-coming pros who've been around for some time. Reason now finally finding his success, of course. Hen, he's been around for even longer than that. But think about the style, right? Reason's taking all the fights. He's looking for the action. Hen's been somewhat passive, somewhat dormant coming into this mid-game, but both of which are at the same level on the standings, right?
Yeah.
Talking, oh my God, the 2-point difference, and that's probably why he likes to hide, because the unlucky factor is that you can get sniped at any given time, and that's what we see right there as Hen finally looks to open up his box and get into the action for Storm Surge tags.
I think Hen just loses
demolished for doing so. This is a big opportunity now for Benji, who just lit up the feed, for Mongrel, who's looking to continue to inch his way up, and of course for Reason to continue to run away with the competition. But no, Mongrel gets taken out by Diox in a box fight that was so awkward because of the tree.
What an awkward situation to be in.
Yeah,
I would not have wanted to fight there. I don't think anybody would have, but yeah, able to get that going. As Benji's going to crash pad through the middle of your screen. Rezon's going to crash pad, but the opposite way that he wanted to there. Now going to try it again. Going to try to get into that zone. Only got one crash pad left. Did end up using it. Will not be in zone right now. He's got a little bit to go, and he is going to be able to make it there with a couple little builds. He's at 53 builds. This is not looking good, but Rezon has been playing so well on low match and so well at finding eliminations, and I think he should be able to find some out of the sky if he's able to hit those shots. Unfortunately, only one player flew near. That's all he's going to be able to do. But wait, he's setting up a little bit of an ambush. There's a player right above him trying to take his cone there. And I think he's going to go for the edit shot there onto him. His shots come through. That's going to be splashed there. Trying to get aggressive. And I don't think they want to get aggressive onto Rezon because he will just demolish you. And look at that shot. Monster duos, current duos right by each other. Benji and Savage, they could turn on each other at any moment.
We've already seen them nearly go against one another in that last end game, but it was Mongrel who took out Benji or Mr. Savage instead. We'll see if it's going to be Benji on the better side now, both of which are getting their peak on here. You can see that Benji is looking for information. He's just scouting the field right now. Already at 3 eliminations. He's off to a strong start, but this is where things really start to get interesting. This is that end game for Fortnite that we know and love. And guess who's right underneath the box? I think it's Mr. Savage, who's sitting literally right underneath his box. Okay, Benji's gonna back up now. That's a threat level that's a little too high for his radar, but instead he jumps into someone else's box, Clay. He wants to take this box fight. This guy's panicking, but no, someone comes from behind. He has to grab it, and Benji gets sandwiched here. It's Floki who comes out on top, and he might have been saved by the third party.
The pressure from Savage caused Benji to move out of his box. With low mats, he had nothing he could do, and unfortunately just going down. And that's really good for Rezon and company, as they know, hey, Benji just went down. I've got a good run up to the top, and Rezon continuing to try to maintain his lead. Very little mats, very little to work with this inventory, but he's got that charge shotgun, and that has been his moment to impact everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Oi, oi, oi. Just gonna get deleted. He was 3 HP.
That was so close for him. Reason literally looking like he's trying to put on an Arkham-esque style championship run right here, except it's not even championship day. It's just the road to the championship right now, and Reason is putting up such a show right now. Here's the big pot. He finds himself the big opportunity to heal now. And Storm Surge is ticking here as well, showing you how stacked, how absolutely stacked.
Yeah, he
the
140
lobby is.
above
0 seconds on the Storm now.
so.
The Surge is kicking in. 6 players have a world of trouble right now. Reason has to be careful
Trebek.
with who's nearby. And yes,
Don't
he's going to
die.
get tagged a few times. No more shield left. That's it. 40 HP in the tank. He's still running for his life here. Trying to make his way to safety now. Finally, opportunity to heal. Just 1 Elim dough. 32 players in the game still. Mr. Savage cooking as well. 4 Elims in a low ground. Can he find a 5th? There it is. Someone's in the box. The enemy will only be able to respond
No,
in
he
time.
got
We'll
it.
find out in 2 seconds here now, and yes,
Yeah.
he does. There it is. Another 50 HP finish. We're talking just several ticks off for Savage. He follows up with an RPG as well. And now, 6 eliminations here, Clay. He is on fire in the low ground. King of the low ground right now.
And
Mr.
this
Savage
is
with
what
6-11.
we pointed to. Savage turned online after game 3 and 4. In game number 5, he's looking to make it his. Rezon, though, still in this game. He's trying to get
my
elimination,
gosh.
and he does. Rezon, another low HP elimination. He is operating so well. We see top tier, elite, big name players do this, and he is making it look easy. He is running through this lobby.
Another Elim.
Savage.
Say
So
no.
many big names to
I think
secure
Savage
his
took him
place
out the
right now.
last time too.
No way.
No way.
Clay on the tail end of the storm, the 4th elimination.
Let's go, bro.
Oh my
We lit. We
gosh.
lit.
What are you doing, Reason? You are tearing up
Dylan, let's
the
go.
food chain right now, absolutely adding disruption to the ecosystem.
Watch your
Reason
back.
now looking for another.
Boom. Let's
He's
go.
gonna be on to Umi this time around
Shit.
as he finds his 5th. Someone's in the box, so he doesn't care. It doesn't
We don't
matter.
care. We
That
don't
was a
care.
great
That was a
run.
great game. Great
And
game,
now we're in the end
Reason.
game here with Letwick on height.
Letwick looking to move up in the leaderboard. He's got the caddy loot, the mythic loot there. As shots coming through. Clement is in this game as well, taking down an Os. A big hit there from Letwick, trying to secure this elimination. He knows that player is low, but not able to find him as Zoda's pulling back away from his. Shots come through. Shuzi made a wrong edit.
Yep.
And Letwick was there with the charge fully ready. He's got the shockwave. He can just shockwave everybody in his zone. He's looking to get some tags onto him first, or at least he gets that elimination credit. The splash is going to go down here to Clement. Letwick on height. 3 eliminations. It's going on about. Shot's going to come through. That's going to be Clement going down to 1v1.
Let's
And
go.
Letwick takes down Queasy. 5 eliminations and the victory royale. Letwick comes out on top.
That's what we call an excited end game of Fortnite here. And you can see our competitors are looking to do their best to continue to inch their way up, claw their way to top 50. But don't worry, guys. We got the best of the best Fortnite minds here to break it all down. Bala and Sundown, take it away, guys.
Let's
Thank you so
go. Letwick is just picking up the victory royale. You'll love to see it. Guys, that was a sick game. And, man, Reason. He's given us reasons to love him. I'm sorry. It is just my one. Sundown, take it over.
I don't
Oh,
even want to
man.
after that, man.
Every
You just
time.
ruined what was such a fantastic run by what might be the best up-and-coming player. I don't even want to call him an up-and-coming player because he's somebody, if you've been watching
arrived.
solos and knowing how, yeah, he's been here, he's been at the top, and he's been putting all of these all-star and names just into his backpack, and he's just like, nope, I'm better. Nope, still performing better. Hey, guys, by the way, I'm still playing better than you.
I'm
And
a
just rolling it out now.
121 Elims.
14-point lead over Hen. You have Savage just behind him there, within striking distance. Both those players just right on the outside of that average victory royale. But like we said, right now, this is Reason's tournament to run away with.
And you look crazy part too is that you look at Mr. Savage, you look at Benji, you look at Hen in some cases. All these guys are like W King to try to get points and try to fight their way back up to catch up to Reason. And Reason's just like strolling along. Oh, you're in my box? Yeah, I'll take you out. And then like moving forward, he's just getting everything in endgame by consistency, Zeke. Every single time he seems to be in the top 10. And that's how you're winning these tournaments solos these days.
That's right, man. And look at more of these names that we're used to seeing. Now, again, guys, we can't reiterate this enough. It is top 50 that's moving on to the heats. So take a look at all these names. Start memorizing them because these are the people we're going to see. People like Skype. You know, this is a very familiar name that we're used to seeing. Weeks from now, when we go into these heats and we start to see, I mean, this is like nice little snapshots, right? Because these 100 players have worked all day to get here. But now we're going to see it take another step up in those finals. Taking a look, 20 points is currently at 40 at Sundown. I'm very curious. I would assume probably right around 15 points, like 50, right?
Yeah, you'll generally see a drop-off right around that outside. It's actually currently sitting at 18 as we flip on over with Karma FNR holding that last spot. But As we talked about, each elimination, each placement threshold ends up being a difference maker. This is just the first of 4 qualifying opportunities. We have one today, one tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday next week as well. So all of these players will have another shot, but we're about to hop in the final match of Europe, and it's all going to come down to this. Will anybody be able to catch Reason and push forward, and can somebody steal away one of those guaranteed
final
spots?
match
That's
now.
what we're going to be keeping an eye on in this last game.
And I think a couple people did just that in the last one. I mean, Queasy had a 14-point game. It wasn't a win. It was a second place plus a couple of elims to actually make it that. But he pushed his way down below around 10 points all the way up into the top 25 now. And that's proof. I mean, we say it all the time. You just need one game to get in this qualification range, and a lot of people are doing that, especially a lot of people from Western Europe right now. I mean, we saw, obviously, we had Letwick in that last game take the actual win, and then Queasy played well. A lot of people right now are making their strike towards that top 50, because that's all that matters at the end of the day for people who are not placing, like Rezan.
That's right, man, because that is all it's needed. You just got to make sure that you push on through there, but we're getting ready to hop in with some of this B-roll reminding us why Reason is so impressive. Again, I gotta give props, man. This guy is just showing mastery over every single aspect of his game. When he's on, you can tell. I mean, he won the Mongol Cup for a reason. I'm sorry, that one was unintentional.
It's just you got to figure out some better words there. I will say,
sorry.
after watching a lot of his VODs, and particularly this game as well, it seems to be that he's the biggest benefactor of the pump removal and the charge being added in. I haven't seen another top player who quite as quickly and well utilizes the charge in these 50-50 box fights, at least in a tournament setting so far. We've seen people be able to do a lot when it goes through, but at the absolute highest level, he's winning these engages and finding the picks and the elims when he desperately needs them.
One game left. Who will hold that number 1 spot? Let's send it back over to our casters. Monster D-Face, Clay. Let's get it into the last game.
Thank you so very much, Zeke, for breaking that down for us right there. And like we said, this is the final game of day 1 here in the EU Opens. It's been a long and grueling day for our European competitors, but it's not for nothing because these players are looking like they are fresher than ever. That top 10 leaderboard in its own, Clay, is something to marvel at.
It is the best of the best of the best players here in the European region. I am A, surprised, and B, not surprised at where we're seeing some of these players, right? It's the big names. We've got Benji, Mongrel, Savage, Clement, Teak, Letwick moved on up there as well. Rezan, the story of today is coming into this is submitting that book. He says, you know what? Hey, I'm closing that as shots coming through here for Benji. Ooh, it's the elimination. But Rezan says, you know what? Hey, I no longer want to be looked at as just the guy that does all right. He wins a Mongrel Cup, a Creator Cup. I want to be the one that says, you know, hey, I won the first week of FNCS, or the first day of FNCS qualifiers.
He can very well do that. All he has to do is bide his time and make it to the end game and inch away, crack away at the iceberg for the points here. Remember, 60 points is about a 15-point lead, I believe, over the placement of second place, which is around 45 or 46 or so there. So think about the lead that he has. He's already done it before. The buffer showing that he can hold first even if he falls. But if he stays alive, I think there's no looking back for anyone. You would need a victory royale at this point if you want to overcome him. So Reason has absolutely arrived as a competitor in the EU region, and I think he's here to stay.
Definitely here to stay. Someone who is here to submit their games as well is Clement. He's got to be careful, right? Seventor is right nearby looking for the ambush. This is not someone that's looking to sit here and just farm on up. Seventor is waiting. He knows someone is going to rotate into this house, and he's got that shotgun out. You see him aim in there. That ADS came through. And Clement, I think, unfortunately, may fall here as he's not paying much attention. He didn't even see him there. The shots come through, so now Seventor does go on the offensive. The shots not connecting there. The edit going to come through. He does get that cone off. Shots coming through. Clement is in a bad spot. This is never somewhere you want to be as an individual. A shockwave or crash pad is going to come on through. The double beam there from Seventor. And I think, unfortunately, Clement may go down here as he's trying to run away for his life. This
can quite literally be a qualifying engagement for Seventor. This is a massive, massive battle. The implications here means that he could potentially push his way into top 50 and hold Clement out. This is the last game, ladies and gentlemen. Every single battle at this point matters. This is your position on the line here. So for Seventor to find another point so early in the game, that is absolutely massive right now. And we're seeing Seventor off to a great start.
And we're being told we have a very, very, very interesting replay that we have to take a look at. As we swap over, you are going to see Mr. Savage here on your screen at the yacht. You know, everybody says spam this cabbage to help Mr. Savage. We'll see if it does help. The shots don't connect there, and he just gets eliminated there with the SMG spray. So unfortunately, falling early.
Massive drop right there from Mr. Savage.
Mr. Savage out,
I think with how much point buffer he's managed to gain this time
but
around,
he's still getting
he'll
qualified.
be in that top 10 or somewhere very close by it. So
He's still
valiant
qualified.
effort and a great run for Mr. Savage, but his run ends here. Someone who is
still
still in the game,
over.
though, it's Reason right now, looking to continue to lay down the landscape, lay down the roadmap to his success here. So far, it's been at Holly Hedges. Such a weird, unorthodox spot. I don't think we've seen any champions come out of this portion of the map ever, right, in this season, this Chapter 2 season. So with that, I mean, it's kind of cool to see new places, new players find their opportunities in their shot, right, thriving up the food chain. Typically, it's the key locations, right, like the retail row or one of the mythic drop spots.
I'll be honest. The other day I tweeted out that Holly Hedges is my least favorite drop spot because I don't think it has good loot. And Rezon showing that, hey, like, you're just looting it wrong. I'm coming out with amazing loot and making it work. So, you know, I'm changing minds here today. Rezon also just, you know, it didn't even seem like it mattered what loot he had. He was just going to play very, very well. Speaking of great loot choices, Benji has a very, very hard one here to make. He's going to go for the big pot over the crash, or the chug splashes or the peppers there as he does pop one. And if you look at the mini map there's not much to see, but there's nobody around him, and that's what's good for Benji. He doesn't have to worry about being way too aggressive early game.
That's right. That can be the downfall. Bala was leaning into the conversation itself there as well. Chasing can sometimes be your downfall in general. You can't force the elims to come to you. That's when you get punished most. Remember, it's players that go on offense that expose themselves and the weaknesses get cracked out there. So we continue to pull on through here.
Oh!
Monstrous hunting rifle shot. Quick on the reaction on the draw there. Without a single inch of hesitation, he's going to find a massive elimination. That's his 33rd point. And now, rounding out his entire loadout to look nice and epic. Quite literally here with the RPG, the shotgun, and the pistol.
Actually going to change it out. He's going for that burst rifle. Doesn't want the pistol, though it's a very, very great item to have if you have that epic or legendary variant. Nate chooses, you know what, that AR just to be more beneficial. See how it plays out there for him is, again, Rezon looking very good. But another level, only 2 players are averaged more than 4 elims in a game in a round 2. Rezon is averaging over 4 eliminations in the game in the finals. And now this is so big because I talked about his DreamHack performance where he did not have this. He was just, I just didn't see it from him. But now coming out of it, he's just playing so well.
And I would love to know who's the other player. Who is the other player that has had such a performance like this? Because Reason is on a tear of his own. And I mean, I called it in that last endgame. I said he was on an Arkham champion-esque style run because he was literally laying down history. It looked like he was on just a completely different level. You can see why. And I mean, he makes lemonade with the lemons. Look at his loot from Holly Hedges. As you mentioned, it's really not the greatest, not ever. He doesn't utilize the upgrade bench. He does not sit there and try to max out his loot by any means. He takes what he can, and he rolls with the punches, and he rolls through the players. With that being said, and now we're hopping over to the other side of the landscape here. It's Link, and off to your right there, you see the format, guys. This is how the placement points get divvied out. So this next elim, a crucial one for a point here on the feed. And, of course, every elimination in good Fortnite fashion is worth 1 point.
got word that Teak was the other player there that is averaging more than 4 units. So round number 2 is Shuzi is just unfortunately gonna fall there. Link finding that sniper shot. Again, snipers have really been the story of this season as well. And just so many opportunities there. So Teak and Kazik as well was the other player there, just absolutely dominating today as well. We saw Kazik pick up some dubs. I've seen him fall off just a little bit. We'll keep our eyes there. He may come back, made that, that last game run that everybody wants to see out of their favorite player. Thinking of someone who does need a run to get towards that top is Quavato. He was close around, I think, 13th place coming into this game, but he's playing very far into the zone, and there's someone on top of him who I don't think he was expecting anybody to be here.
And that guy jumps off, so this is giving Quavato the, idea of hey, I probably have to take this fight and finish it if I want to get out of here. For him to completely bail off of the boat now, and Quavato's like he's invested into this, looking for the wall control right now. The edit's going to come out, and yes, he's going to find the biggest shot. It's going to be the 44 piece from above, and now the flopper to get in, and now goes the crash pad. He connects even off the flick as well, the 180 turnaround. What a great shot from Quavato, and there it is, completely wrapping up Andy, and now Quavato has the siphon off of that as well, and a refresher to continue to push his way through this game.
Ending that so well and so quickly is exactly what he needed to do to get out of the zone and to get where he needs to be in the new zone. As we take a look over onto TV Stacks, and is relatively uncontested, right? He's got one player nearby kind of lurking. Looks like they're actually waiting a little bit, but his mats are not looking good. He has not found a lot of anything. His loadout looks fine, but what's really concerning is his mats. Luckily enough for him, he does have the stacks nearby. He can rotate really easy, but that's going to be a very big point of contention there for him. A point of contention for Benji is this fight that's going to happen there onto Forseki, as Benji is in a record-setting performance. He's in position to add to his record 12 top 5 FNCS placements, including incredible 5 first-place finishes. That is insane. Shots coming through, but the record may have not just happened as he goes down.
The pressure was too much, and the record caves in. And just like that, Benji does not get to continue to push it through, but who knows? Maybe he can hold up. It's really a matter of what your other opponents are going to do. And, I mean, so far the consistency has been there for the majority of the lobby. So it's looking like that's a no-go for Benji this time around. Regardless of what, though, here's your nice wide shot of the area and how the players are starting to take real estate here. You can see the clock tower being completely claimed by another player. That gives me the idea that the zone is definitely up in this northern portion. Here's Frey. There's Teak. So that means Teak is getting zone favor, and he is the champion, and he lands in this area. So this is looking like a game we're going to have to keep an eye out on Teak for. Frey, though, with a single elimination. I just wanted to also mention that we did see Henna live, right? We saw Henna live in Steamy Stacks. That made me think that it's possibly Tasted who's alive there as well. He is another passive player, so you're seeing two players with
got
the
a
same
lot of
style,
players still, 70
share a
players
location.
still, so it's pretty tough.
I think that's how that's going to end up crumbling.
And a reminder, it's top 50 here today. So we're talking about the top players because that is where the upper echelon of
and that's the last game,
in, right? And the glory, right? Hey, I got first, like I'm the best. But top 50 gets you into the heats. Right now, that's sitting around 13, 18, that range there. If you see anybody above that, they're more than likely going to be good going into the heats, but they want to secure that there. As Ray fires one shot and he takes down Hind.
And the headshot at that.
Nice
the headshot. The unfortunate job from Hen there, leaving himself exposed in a little bit of a battle, or maybe he's just peeked out, looking down towards the enemy that was inside the house. Regardless of what, it was a pixel enough for Frey to pick it up. And let's not forget, guys, there's about a 10-way tie down for breaking into top 50. It's at 12 points, so the bubble is only 12 points. What you're looking at is your players that are looking relatively comfortable right now, but there's so much on the line for all these other players. Like we saw earlier, Clement falling, right? Who was just there or around that area. So regardless, here's Marine, 40 points, well in ahead of the competition into that top 10. He's up in the high atmosphere, layers, trying to get his piece at first place again. He had such a great showing during the DreamHack finals that just recently unfolded against Teak, Mr. Savage, and all the other crew. Just showing that these guys are in top form right now in solos competition.
And Marine is the only player in the top 5 other than Rezon to be in this game. Every other one of them has been eliminated. We saw Savage, we saw Benji, we saw Hin go down. So right now it's looking like a victory game here for Rezon unless Marine is able to pop off and get an absolutely amazing game. Right now, Rezon's on top, and he's looking to stay that way. Teak, however, looking to topple that. Again, 36 points, so more than likely in qualification range. It's looking like 20, maybe 21 points is going to be where that is. And that's the biggest point to take home today. Again, top 50, move through. That is what these players are playing for to get to the heat. And then, of course, grand finals. Teak, however, is no stranger to this side of the map. During DreamHack, we saw him sit here and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Because he knew where he was in the leaderboard. He knew Savage was on a fire. And so this time, doing it a little bit differently, playing from behind, but I would expect nothing less than a great game from him.
I do agree. And just to give you guys some names of players that are on the bubble here, we just got word from the back. It's a Nas, it's Flick, Karma, Styler, Carrots, Fast Strokey, right? These are competitive veterans. These are players we root for and love. So you have to keep your eye out on them as we continue to get these wide shots of players that are in the game right now. Here's a little replay, though. You can see exactly how that unfolded. I was questioning, how was it that Hen revealed himself to get tapped from behind? It's because he was sitting on top of that base. He was in a fight. And look at that, the huge shot, not covering and just above the ramp elevation right there. Just above. It was enough for Frey to see in and hit the single headshot from downrange.
Oh, that one hurts to see. He was just like...
We got Mongo
and
so
Frey was like, you know what? Well, that pixel's not supposed to be there, taking advantage of it as we see Mongrel down below, hiding a little bit. Seems like maybe playing on not as much mats here. He's up over 142 builds, so in a very good amount of mats, but playing very conservative with them. That's one of the things about Mongrel is that he does spend a lot more mats, I feel like, than the average player because he's very, very good at building those builds, but got to be careful about not taking these mid-game fights and getting up. Again, he was in contention for that top spot, still is, and more than likely will qualify with the points that he's at. He makes a very easy rotation in his own, but he does have to be careful of the player above him as they are looking down on top of him. We see a nice wide shot of everybody nearby. Queasy is nearby there. I believe that's Woodsy up above him as now we're transitioning over to see how players are rotating through the zone.
Absolutely, but here's Jerky on 33 points so far. He's played a relatively strong game of Fortnite today. 6 games have gone definitely in his favor as he's been in the running so far, making several end games and just being there when it matters most. Now at a single elimination here, the last opportunity, the last showcase for Jerky of the day here. Now he's vibing. He's got that launch pad. He's got those crash pads, and he's trying to make this rotate here to the 4th zone. The 4th zone is such an important one as well. Let's not forget that right after this, the more center you are, the more likely you are to catch the next half in, half out. It looks like Jerky's got a serious situation on his hands here. Not only is he on the storm line, but he's just gotten tagged from someone behind him who's going full psycho mode. He has to launch pad and gets tagged in the air and taken out. Just like that, his run, his last game is all over.
And Jerky's been all over the map. First game, he had 6th place. Second game, it was a 33rd. Next game was an 81st. Next game was a 63rd. And right now, getting a 53rd. So he's kind of been up and down. He's had his high moments. He's had his low moments. So
Longer still alive with no
event. Like to be able to get that top 50 threshold. We do, however, move back over to someone who will be, I think, in that top 20 or 50 rather, maybe even top 20. Could be in top 10 is Mongol. We've talked about his aim with this mythic burst rifle. It is so insane. And I honestly think the burst rifles are better this season with the one less round of the burst because you're able to recorrect so much quicker after that initial burst. And I think for someone like Mongrel, that really pays off because his aim is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, let's not forget, you get a little bit more zoom capability with that higher fire rate to trade off. So it is very, very good. But either way, it's not going to help you.
Let's go.
It doesn't look like Mongro's going to need it. The tack attack is going to be enough to bail him out on a 2 HP save. And just like that, he has 52 HP. And that bottomless chug jug from Ocean's mythic side of the loot there is going to go ahead and fill and cap him off. We're seeing how this can come in handy in the mid game right now. There's not a lot of opportunities. You'll find 15 seconds to pop it, but this is one of those rare circumstances where it is the perfect solution for getting tagged down. And now he has the opportunity here to trade it out, potentially for floppers. I saw in the inventory loot right there. Here's a player on the bubble. Carrot, who's sitting next to Reason, the first place in the Day 1 opens right now in this qualifier here. This is not looking too good for Carrot. I think he's in such a scary position to be in right now.
He is no longer the coolest Carrot right now. He's in
oh my god.
Actually, all of a sudden, in a good spot, he's taking down number 1, Rezon. In a bad spot, the crash pad coming through. He does get out for the time being, changing layers, but he's in a very bad angle. Ooh, and a nice edit gonna save him for now. Carrot on the other side, those shots gonna stall out here. He needs to try to pop some middies. That insert being made here. He's trying to box up and just change as many layers as he can. Put as much material in between him and his opponent. And for now, he is going to be able to get out. That looked very, very scary for a minute there. Rezon, though, has been in this situation before. Low ground, low mats, low ammo, low shield. And he's made it out, so we'll see if he's going to be able to do it again.
Carrot is looking at Reason with complete envy here, who has 62 points in him, just in the teens now, who needs this elimination. It's up to Reason, though, if he wants to play spoiler or not, depending on how good his shot is right now, which, as we've seen today, has been very, very deadly, is going to be the determining factor for any of these players that are fighting right now. But wait, another big tag is going to work against Reason here, and Reason's going to go on the counter offense. No, it's not going to be enough, and now has to back up here. Out of hard materials, so forced to recycle back into the metal builds of his previous. And yes, he wants to escape. Finds a launch pad, and Reason has another opportunity here to get away. He lands inside the box with the charge, but no, it's not going to be enough. He gets absolutely demolished by Marine. That was the wrong box to land in on, and now Marine has the opportunity to continue to earn his way up the top, right? We talked about it. If you're in top 5, a Victor Royale can secure you first place if Reason goes down, and Marine made this possible for himself and only himself now in this endgame.
What a play there. He made it possible, but with that little HP, I am very worried. However, I'm not worried about Tiku's crash pads are coming through. The crash pad threw him all the way down to low ground. What a perfect usage of it there. The charge shotgun not going to connect, though. Hoping it did, but now on low ground has time to wait. We do see Mick going down there to Vadil. Teak, though, low ground, trying to find anything that they can. Any extra loot, any extra elimination. He's actually going to take down Marine. Wow. The zone, and I think that's secured first place there for Rezon here today.
Let's talk about this. Anas lighting someone up in the feed there. Carrot as well. These are 2 players on the cusp of qualification. Those could be very well the elims that they needed to make their way through the finals day. Let's see, though. It's Mongra on the other side. As we see, he traded out. Nothing. He ended up keeping the infinite chug jug here and the peppers, because you can see the steam coming out of his ears right now, valuing the chug jug even in the end game like this when you think he wouldn't. Let's see how this is going to play out now. 40 points for Mongo. He needs to do something big or go home now. Let's see it, though. Playing this back edge now. 9 builds remaining. You can see it's a desperate situation for the Mongrel. Okay, one more, though. Someone ends up putting a wall behind him as well. This is not his This is not his base, Clay. This is not his area. He has to work his way through these enemy builds. He's just trying to stay on the backside. Here it is. Someone finally walks in, and it's not going to be enough. He gets traded out by Nate, and Nate finds himself the 40th point there now as he approaches this endgame.
And unfortunately, that's the issue with taking the first rifle as your swap weapon. When you use a charged shotgun, it's just so hard to hit the shots, especially while he's peppered. It was just too hard to track. His 7-tor is going to fall with Covado there as well. Anas there in your screen. Link has been popping off. Rezumi will
all the top players
Link sitting on 3, 4, 5 eliminations right now. Has been playing very, very well. M10 Legends, who's we've barely seen on your screen, but has been popping off 34 points. Just nothing to scoff at there. Has gotten a lot in this game. Shots going to come through. Superior's going to go down. There's another player right there. The peanut butter peak going back and forth. Legends is going to be a legend, and he takes down Anas. This is a great run here for them. Will more than likely put them in that top 50 threshold that they need to move on to heats. The zone is closing. This is the last zone there. And look at the top. It's Tayson. We haven't seen much of him today, but he holds the high ground. Coolest carry. Getting shockwave to zone. Leak going into zone. Everybody is going into zone. They're all fighting in zone. The only person in zone is Tayson and Vevi. Everybody is fighting outside. Coolest carrot going up. Shockwave being used. Tayson does no longer have the high ground as carrot there, but the piece control was so beautiful. The shockwave came out. He's out. Tayson looking to get the last elimination. Vevi with the crouch there is going to be able to pick it up. Vevi with the last game picks up the victory royale with 6 eliminations.
Oh my gosh, that was an absolutely incredible end game. And you see that could have been a qualifying run for Flick, qualifying run and victory for Vevi, and a qualifying run for Anas as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was quite the day one opener.
Yeah, this was the last
Once
game.
Again, I'm Monster D-Face here. This is Clay Selling, and I'm covering up for Shayo Wager, which we will see later on today. Shout out to Shayo for covering up the first better portion of this entire show. But regardless of what, we're going to toss on over to Sundown, Bala, and of course Zeke to break down the leaderboards and bring home all the action.
So, Monster D-Face, we actually got a sub. We got Shies right here. You know, this is just how things go sometimes. We just like to shift things around. But what an awesome game there for Vevi. If I understand correctly, gentlemen, that game was enough to get him a qualifying spot, because we cannot forget it's top 50 that move on.
That was a 20-point game, Zeke. 20 points for him to go from 7 to now 27, well in range of the top 50 that he needed. So that final game did it for him, and he continues to dominate just like he did. But at the top, it was our boy Reason dominated throughout this day. Shayo, I can't believe the things that I was seeing out of this guy.
Right, so just see an early game elimination right here was absolutely phenomenal. A 4th place overall, paired over with another big game right afterwards. Rezon was here to just say, I'm going to qualify and do it in hot fashion. Yes, afterwards, he kind of cooled off, but then he brought it right back up with more top 10 placements. These were all during end game moments, too. Some of the places where it's really hard to get impact eliminations, where you have to use your brain completely. No longer third partying, but I would just say a chaos scenario every single time. Reason was there in the storm, there on low ground. Doesn't matter where he was just playing out of his mind.
There's a brief moment where we were like, hold on, Rezon might not be running away with this, but when it was all said and done, when the hurricanes of Mongrel, Benji, everybody started to slow down, they were basically put out. Reason was like, I'm back. This is my tournament. You guys had no chance in the first place. And Zeke, like you said, man, he will take these tournaments when he needs to. He will take first place in your own competition, Mongrel. I think that this guy is definitely one of the most, I guess, not necessarily underrated, because I am rating him after this tournament, but he is out of the blue after what we saw in Season 2, after we saw the Invitational.
And this is on the backs of playing all day, right? Again, guys, this is the level of Fortnite players we're looking at, right? These guys have already played potentially 14 matches, and now they're back to play at these set lobbies of the 100 of the very best coming out of this day number 1. They're going to do the same thing tomorrow. They're going to do the same thing next Saturday and Sunday. So for Rezon to show up in the way he did against the big names we're so used to seeing, this is making massive waves, and this is shining a light on him. And of course, there's other players as well that are doing the same, right? Like making that little baby qualifier. A lot of these guys on the edge of that 50, just on the outside, wanting to be in. There's some players that did make it through.
Yeah, for Rezon now, it's all about playing defense, but there's a bunch of people who were playing offense all the way trying to break that top 50. Anas, one of them. Usually we see him in top 10. This time, a very different place to be, but the aim stays the same when you try to break all the way towards 20, 22 points. Karma also was a big name, and he was making moves balling.
Yeah, they were. And these are qualifying moments for these guys. Karma clutching up in the final game to find himself 23 points. That Elam will seal the deal for him, just barely making it through. And there's other people too. But one thing to know about these tournaments is that it doesn't really matter what you're doing in the weekly qualifiers. Yes, of course, Reason earned himself a bag. He got the $5,000 for placing first place. But what these guys are doing is setting up a foundation for them to play through into the seasonal finals, to play through into the grand finals, where you don't really see the people who are winning the weeklies end up winning in the grand finals and earning that Axe of Champions.
Yeah, you talk about foundation. I think Vevi had the biggest one. Usually you're on Twitter thinking about, man, I need a 20-point game to qualify me, especially in this format. He actually got one. 6 eliminations. First place in his last game to say, I am going to play in these heats and push for the grand finals.
Ridiculous from Vevi. And this is the thing that we've been seeing from him in the past couple of weeks. I mean, I'm thinking of dream hacks for Vevi. This is somebody a lot of you guys probably don't know. Like, he played on NA East in the semifinals and got first place on NA East, his opposite ping, and he dominated that hard. I think he's from Ireland, so this guy is an up-and-comer for sure, and we see him in the last game stepping up again.
That's right, guys. A lot of these big-name players are going to have to step aside, because there's a lot of new blood looking to try and hang with the very best of the best. Now, we're going to have these final standings here in just a moment. But I got to say, guys, this was an awesome day. So much fun, so much action here in Fortnite. And now we got to know, who's at the top? Was it Rezon? Did he hold that spot? Did he get taken away? Let's take a look together. Head.
I like it.
Rezon, first place.
Rezon holding down that #1 spot, 62 points. My God, 15 ahead of Hen in second place.
62 points, 21 elims.
Yeah, this was
One
domination
victory
on, not necessarily another level, but on day one, I think this is the stamp that he wanted to make. This is the statement that he wanted to make above people like Hen trying to catch up, above people like Link, who seem to have an easy path. Him and Cavato, an easy path to Caddy Corner. I mean, it was uncontested. The first game, he kind of just walked in, and then Cavato also, second game, he's just like, oh, this is mine, I guess.
Yeah, and like usually we have this conversation about drop spots and what's going down, but I feel like the story of round 3 for Europe was just what Zeke mentioned. The old big dogs versus these new guys who are trying to rise up, the old legacies and the new ones that are trying to be cemented in people like Vevi versus other people like Savage. Skite here too, looking to make that old flame just shine that much brighter at 27th overall. But all these guys are now basically having another chance, an FNCS solos, to say, I'm the best player in Europe, possibly the best player in the world.
Man, this is what it's shaping up. And again, this is just a snapshot, right? This is just a tiny little sample size of what we can expect in heats. There, another name, Carrot, aka the coolest Carrot we've seen. Thomas HD, just a few names that have made it through in the top 50. 26 points was that barrier. Now, taking a look all the way out at 50th, it looks like it ended up being 21 points. And Bala, you actually kind of predicted this earlier on in the day when we were talking in the green room. You're like, man, I think 21 is where it's at. And turns out Vortexia barely making it in.
Yeah, clutch moments, and we're going to see clutch moments time and time again as these days continue. I mean, tomorrow it's going to be the same thing, right? It's kind of a hyper-accelerated FNCS in this case, where you have usually you have this week take place in one weekend, right? And then the next weekend, and then the next weekend, and the next weekend. And this one is happening in 2. So we're going to see that drop spot beef be accelerated, essentially. Tomorrow, we're going to see that fight at Caddy Corner might look a lot different, especially with new players and new blood coming in. And we get to see it on 2 regions, too, Zeke. I mean, NA East coming up. We got people like Clicks just taking their first major solo tournament win since, well, I shouldn't say major, the Booga Cup, but since basically the World Cup qualifier day. So we got a lot of action ahead of us.
Man, guys, it has been an awesome day. Of course, to both of you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Shy, thanks so much for just coming in and subbing for just a tiny little baby bit. Of course, Monster D-Face and Clay, thank you guys so much as well. That wraps up EU, but if you want more action, come back later, because we got NA East later on in the day. Till then, Fortnite fam, we'll see you guys on the Battle Bus.
Alright, see you guys. We're gonna be live for the NAs.